More Harley Davidson dealerships are closing down. What's going on? Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell for future videos. So yesterday, I got an email from a kind gentleman, and he said, yeah, I've got a few issues with my bike, but also have you heard that our local Harley Davidson dealership to me and another one is closing down? I was like, oh, well, no, I didn't know that. Thanks for let me know, all that sort of stuff. I'm paraphrasing here, of course. So last night, when I got back from work, I thought, let me just take a ride out. I know it's a Thursday, so they usually have a bike meet on a third Thursday of the month. So I thought, let me just pop down and see what's what. So there it was. I rode down there, and not many people there. By the time I got there, I arrived a little bit late, and I just met a few people I know, and yeah, they confirmed it. Yeah, it's all happening. The guys that worked there, I think they were told literally the day before the announcement. And on the 28th of September, the dealership in Reading in the UK, which is literally 2 minutes down the road from me, that's my local dealership, and the one in Watford by the same Lind Group, who owned 4 Harley dealerships and I think a couple of BMW dealerships and maybe a Triumph dealership as well. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, they're setting up shop. Now, is this got anything to do with what's been going on recently with Harley Davidson? I don't think so. I think this has got nothing to do with it at all. I think it's got more to do with repeated dwindling sales from Harley Davidson over many years, and also the way the company has kind of been, I'm not saying they've been forcing motorcycles onto dealerships all around the world, but maybe just not working with dealerships to get the right kind of motorcycles that they really want and can sell. That's probably more to the point. But nonetheless, it's a bit of a shocking thing to happen because not only are these 2 dealerships closing in the next month, we had one in Norwich close a few months ago. There's 2, well, one in Manchester and one in Chester. That closed down at the same time a couple of months ago as well. So that's essentially 5 dealerships in the space of a few months that I can think of. Maybe there are more, I just don't know. And this is only in the UK. So what's going on? What is it that not only in the UK, but I would assume around Europe, and I assume it's certainly in the United States this is happening. In fact, this is happening. Why are dealerships closing down? Why aren't they selling motorcycles? Why aren't they able to keep the doors open? Well, is it all down to price of brand new motorcycles, or the kind of merchandise that they're selling and the price point at which they're selling the merchandise? I mean, last night they were selling it off at, I think it was at 30% discount and everything. I was saying, well, are they selling the bikes at a 30% discount? You know what I mean? But funny enough, I had a little walk around the bikes, and yeah, they were selling them at £2,000 or £3,000, £4,000 off what the mark price would be in some cases. And this was for 0 miles, or, very like a 1-year model with about 200 or 300 miles on there, just a £3,000 or £4,000 difference. So, there's a deal to be done there. Even though the dealership is closing, the Lind Group, the umbrella company that owns one of the dealerships, is still operational, and they're still running Harley Davidson dealerships as well. So even if you're going to buy a bike last night, let's say, or today or tomorrow, you're still within the group. So, it's just like buying from a regular dealership. It's just that these ones are closing down. So why is it? What is happening? Is it a corporate thing, the pressure put on dealerships? And, they've all been made to come into line with an identity change and all this kind of stuff. And the cost that's been put onto the dealerships to adopt this new corporate identity. Is this the pressure that dealerships haven't been able to withstand? Coupled with that, the downturn in the economy, the global economy, coupled with the fact, if you wanted to borrow money, it's going to cost you even more. Maybe people are just looking at less expensive bikes, or bikes with better value, whether you're a Harley Davidson fan or not, or whether, even if you're an ardent Harley Davidson fan, whether you're just going to the used bike market. So here's one of my questions I was supposed to say, well, if you're a Harley Davidson dealership selling brand new bikes, then to keep the doors open, how about just trying to sell a lot of used bikes? No, you do. I know you do. That's the thing. But are those used bikes too expensive? Well, we know they are. They're quite elevated prices as well on those. They keep their money. But I've been talking about this for such a long time in terms of price point and Harley Davidson, and they could be getting themselves into trouble, or a point where people are just not going to buy it. Now, I was speaking to a couple of people last night. Great to meet them, by the way. I was saying that it's not really our age group that is the issue here, because at some point you're either going to afford to buy it or not afford to buy it. It's that new generation coming through. It's always the new generation. 20-year-olds are not going to spend minimum £12,000-13,000, dollars, shekels, whatever it is, on a Harley Davidson, the lowest bike that it'll be. Let's say the Nightster, whatever that price point is, right? They're not going to spend that. They're going to spend, £4,000 or £5,000, £6,000, let's say, dollars on a brand new bike, as a small bike, or they're going to go into a used bike, which is going to be something like a Sportster, an old Sportster, if you're going to buy a Harley Davidson, right? That's what you're going to naturally go to, because you also got to factor that young people don't have a high credit rating, high credit score. They're not going to have their money in the bank to go and put cash down. And also the cost of running that bike is going to be quite expensive, and also the insurance as well. So lots of factors are against young people buying expensive motorcycles. And if Harley Davidson as a company have positioned themselves, as I keep on saying, to only sell expensive motorcycles, even if you consider the entry level ones, which are the Nightster, let's say, they're still £12,000. That's not entry level price, is it? So we've kind of talked about this a lot, or I have as well. And yeah, I've been either criticised or I've been, people I've identified with what I've been saying. But this has been a long time coming. So now dealerships are closing. And do you know what? It was going off on a tangent here. I was watching a Clint Eastwood movie last night, a very good movie called The Mule, right? And I was it was really sad to see a really old man on screen. It was great, don't get me wrong, because I always had this kind of sense that, well, let's face it, he's not got many years left. But I've had a whole lifetime of watching Clint Eastwood movies, right? And, it's almost part of my identity because I know his films so well, and The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, still one of my favourite films of all time. So having that kind of relationship with something, whether it's personal to me or not, when it's gone, you're going to have a sense of loss, regardless of whether it's sentimental, whether it's real or not. There's a sense of loss. So here now, Harley Davidson, I know it's just a dealership, I know, but it was somewhere where I would pass by, I would always look, and because it's so close to me as well, I'd pop in on a regular basis, just to have a coffee or just to buy some parts or whatever, just have a little snoop around, just to do a bit of research for myself, on prices and everything like that. Or do some test rides or whatever it was, so I would always be in there, or from time to time. So when it's closing down, you're kind of feeling, well, there's going to be a bit of a loss here. There's something within your daily pattern or your weekly pattern that's just not going to happen anymore. Now, I'm sure you get over it, right? It's not, oh, woe is me, tears are running down my cheek or anything, but you got to feel sorry also for the employees there, because they were given, I believe, I don't know what's gone on behind the scenes, but they're given a day's notice to say, look, they're shutting up shop. And, it's got to be hard for them because they need to go and find other jobs, right? And all this kind of stuff. But it begs the question, what is happening, especially with Harley Davidson products, that they're just not able to keep the doors open on some of these dealerships. Some of it is by corporate design, I get it, but maybe it's a lot to do with businesses and dealerships just not wanting to be associated with the Harley Davidson name, and maybe they just can't sell the bikes, they just can't sell the merchandise or enough of it to keep the doors open. Usually these dealerships now, they're quite big, elaborate places, and they're expensive to run. So, yeah, they have to sell enough product to keep the lights on, right? To pay all the employees, to sell enough parts. And if you're not doing that, or if people are being more frugal and not wanting to spend that, then you're going to have a problem, right? You're going to have it stands to reason. But it's happening with alarming regularity, I would say now. It's happening it's 5 dealerships that I can think of here in the UK just in the last few months. I'm sure it's a lot more in the United States. and you throw in all the latest thing that's been going on with Harley Davidson as well, and you throw in all the pricing and obviously the economic downturn, and especially what I've been calling for so long, and people again have either agreed with me or disagreed with me. That's not a problem if you disagree with me. But the point is that if you've got your competitors that are selling small CC motorcycles and they're flying out the door, they're selling like hotcakes, and I'm going to name one in particular, Triumph with their 400s, right? They sell those bikes at, however many they've sold, 50, 60,000, right? Well, that keeps the money coming in, doesn't it? That keeps the lights on. That keeps people employed. Why have Honda done this for years and years and years? They sell millions of bikes a year, and most of them, the bulk of them, are not your 1000cc sports bikes. They're not your Honda Goldwings. They're the little mopeds, right? They're the ones. This is what I've always said. If you don't have diversity within your product range, if you're not able to sell small motorcycles that get people invested not only in motorcycle transport and motorcycling, but also as a passion, but also into the name Honda, Triumph, then you're never going to get those customers. You're only likely to get those customers when they've reached 40 or 50. Well, that's a long time to wait until you're getting a good market share. And if in that meantime people have gone to other brands or they're not into motorcycling anymore, then you're going to have a problem. I just think it's sad. I think it's sad that not only my local dealership is closing, but another one in Watford is closing as well. And I think, I feel sorry for obviously the people who are losing their jobs. Of course I am. But it's all, I would love to know, of course. I don't know what's gone on behind the scenes and why the decision was made, of course. I'm not privy to that information. But it just appears to me that there's an opportunity lost here. There's an opportunity lost by the company as, the corporation, and either working with the dealerships or providing product appropriately to the dealerships so that they can sell them properly. And also the structure and the demands that they put on dealerships to operate in a certain way, under license, let's say. There seems to have been a bit of a problem here in the last few years in the way they've changed things. And look, pressure is mounting on the CEO, right, on Jochen's sides, and the board of directors. And they're answerable to the shareholders, and I've said this in a previous video as well, but they're also answerable to the customer base. And the customer base has been saying there's something wrong for a long, long time. Even before Jochen Zeitz came onto the scene, they've been saying there's something wrong for a long, long time. There was backlash when they tried to go into different markets, that More Roads program or that Many Roads program, because many thought they were abandoning the core principles or what they thought was the big bikes. Well, you don't have to abandon anything. You can still sell those bikes, but you can also sell other bikes. And if your core audience who only like the big bikes, the big baggers or the Softails, don't like those bikes, well, they don't have to buy them, do they? But you got young people who might want to buy them, and they could be your future bagger rider. That's the thing. So not only have they been messing this up, their relationship with Harley Davidson riders or potential new riders, not only have they had a weird strategy in terms of pricing or the kind of products that they want to sell at a higher price point for profit margins, premium products and for premium prices and everything like that. But now coupled with everything else, this could be a big thing. This could be an indication that not only a dealership starting to fail, but also the company is starting to fail as well. The pressure is going to be on the CEO and the board of directors. And I said, we were saying last night as well, if the CEO changed and a new CEO came in with a fresh vision that kind of was open and transparent and actually said, look, this is what we're going to try and do. We're going to try and make these kinds of bikes. We're going to release that bike. We're going to release that bike. I'm really surprised that Harley Davidson this year have not released a new bike in sort of July time. When you thought sort of mid-season, fan the flames a little bit, release a new bike, everybody start talking about it. But YouTube channels like me would say, oh, this is a new bike, right? Yeah. But nothing. There's been nothing since January. So you think, what's going on? What's going on? Maybe they were about to release a new bike, but all this PR disaster they've had with the woke has kind of put that to bed. Who knows? Soon we'll be into the autumn season. It's just around the corner. So all of a sudden, you kind of lost that opportunity. Now, maybe you're going to release an autumn bike, but you're kind of missing out on the riding season to hit with a bang. So what, you're going to wait until January now? That's pretty much a whole year of inactivity. That's inactivity. Yes, I know they release the bikes in January, but I'm saying for a mid-season bike reveal, that's what they've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years. So you would kind of think, well, maybe they would do it again. Nothing. So they don't seem to be helping themselves. They don't seem to be helping the dealerships. All the dealerships are not helping themselves as well. Who's to blame here? I do not know. What's the reason for dealerships closing? I'm sure there are individual reasons, of course, so you can't be a blanket reason. But there'd be trouble up at mill, as we used to say here in the UK, and it'd be interesting to see exactly what it is. Now, the flip side to this is that the dealerships who remain, even let's say within this umbrella company which was just closing down 2 dealerships, the remaining dealerships that they have got will be able to mop up that business. So you could say that if you close down 2 dealerships, but you just focus all your sales on one dealership or another or 2 remaining dealerships, then you're proportionally going to get a lot more sales there. So they should do better, right? People are going to take their bikes there for servicing. They're going to go there for parts. You just have to travel further. You'll probably make a day of it, a ride out there, that kind of thing. So that's going to happen. So it might not all be doom and gloom in that respect, but I think it's just still a sad day, a sad indictment, in the motorcycle world perhaps, but also in the Harley Davidson world. You got to think about these as meeting places, as destination places, as hog chapters, meeting there, all that kind of stuff. Well, whilst that doesn't disappear because they have other places to meet, it's still a focus, isn't it? A focal point for people to go. Whether going to a dealership is your thing or not. I mean, my going to a dealership for a social reason was never my thing. It's more of a practical thing. I'd go in there just to see what's what, get parts, all that sort of stuff. So, but for other people, it's a major social thing, and obviously now that's gonna end for your local one. So you're gonna have to travel. That's it. I mean, that's the way it is. You're just going to have to travel to get your Harley Davidson social fix, aren't you? But there we go. I think it's a bit of a sad day, really, in many respects. Your local dealership closing. You can see that it extends beyond just motorcycles and T-shirts, that there's people's real lives being affected here. The workers, that is, the employees. And there was a somber tone to everything last night. Well, there appeared to be, from my point of view, and quite rightly so. I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for everybody involved, even the management, even the owners who are having to make this decision. I don't think they wanted to make it lightly. I don't think they enjoy making these decisions. Of course they don't. No business owner, wants this. It's just a day. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. But if you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell for future videos. And I'll catch you again. Another video coming very soon. Bye now.